Hi, this is Rex from Cairo, Egypt. This is the fourth in a vlog about the Middle East, North Africa kind of trip. We started today in Amman, Jordan, and finished off enjoying that city and that nation. First time to visit there. Had today, fresh off the tree, was something called a green almond. You just pick it right off the tree and clean it off and pop it right in your mouth. You can eat it shell and all, and it was really kind of rather interesting. Tastes a little bit about like an almond, a little bit bitter, but interesting. Never had seen that kind of fruit before, and picked it up, across the road from a house that we were visiting. And a lot of different things today. Driving around, we figured out that the voices of Google in the Middle East, and particularly in Jordan, are male voices. Well, at home, I talk about Lady Google, and we tend to have these female voices that speak to us in sultry kinds of tones, but this is a male voice. This is the Middle East, and it was quite different and kind of a shock, really, the first time you hear it. Kind of funny, actually. But we drove around a little bit. Also learned that in Amman, you don't really hear sirens. You can see ambulances coming towards you, and you can see the lights, but they don't use sirens a lot. I have no idea why. But that's just something that's not part of their culture. And ran into Caesar's Pizza Day. We didn't eat there, but that's another American eatery that you can find in Jordan. There's quite a few of them. So caught the plane, Egypt Air, to Cairo, which is an enormous airport. And then this evening went out to what's called New Cairo, which is certainly not your father's Cairo. Amazing, explosive development out not too far from the airport. High-end kind of homes, actually huge buildings, multiple floors, and each floor is owned by a member of the family because they tend to live in family units, just like in Jordan. But these are well-off people, and that whole area, this massive mall out there, some kind of something festival mall, and then huge shopping areas. And I mean, it looks like you're in Miami or Phoenix or someplace. It's really, really amazing difference than what I've experienced in coming to Cairo before. And went out to eat and learned about something called baladi bread. Baladi bread, B-A-L-A, got it written over here. D-I means my country bread. It's just pita bread. It's kind of in this kind of a round, puffy thing that they bake. But very good with hummus, let me tell you. Not a lot of carbs in it. It has carbs, but not a lot. And it's really, really quite fascinating. You learn a little bit more about Egypt. Egypt, of course, is a country that as a military-influenced government. Law and order is there, but it depends on who's calling the shots. And it's still not a country that's entirely open, entirely free, even with the prosperity. And any kind of political leader is usually involved somehow with the military. Bribery is a problem. It's not that it isn't in the United States, but bribery is a problem, certainly in Egypt. And just about anything that you do in the way of licensure and whatnot. There's 22 million people estimated in Cairo now, in a nation of 106 million, the largest population, the greatest population of any Arab country in the Middle East, among about 24. So it's highly significant. Egypt is always influential because of that population, and because of their positioning against Iran or Saudi Arabia in terms of kind of struggling for, and then Turkey, struggling for hegemony here, as it were, in the Middle East and North Africa. Sat7, of course, has a large studio and has had for a long time, the original studio located here in Cairo. We'll visit that on the comeback in next week. But we're going to spend some time in the next couple of days with Sat7 related people planning the rest of our trip here in this rather interesting adventure of coming to the Middle East this time of year. So that's about it, I guess, for tonight. I did hear something funny. It doesn't have anything to do with the Middle East, but the idea of copyright. What's a copyright? Well, if you're from China, that means copy it right. If you're from India, it means your right to copy. So plagiarism or intellectual property, those kind of things, again, law and order isn't the same in every country. So if you own something, you may or may not get the royalties or the return on it that you think you can or will or should, depending on the country involved. So it's just the way it is in the rest of the world. Cairo, I mentioned a couple other things. Cairo, it's a Muslim city. but you don't get the same sense of that as you do in Istanbul, because Istanbul is a hilly city, and as you drive around and the buildings are maybe 7 to 10 floors, if that, you can look out across and see hundreds, scores anyway, of minarets like rocket ships. So you really get a sense of being in that Muslim city. Cairo, equally so, but there's a lot more high-rises. There's more taller buildings, basically, that obscure the minarets. Now, they're there, and you hear the call to prayer. And as I said, it's certainly a committed city in terms of the religion of Islam, but it's a different feel and a different challenge in regard to the people who live here. So Egyptian people are energetic people, and because of that, they're a well-off people. Economic prosperity is in evidence, and Cairo is a thriving place. It's a very, very interesting city. Recommend it for anyone. So Rex from Cairo, and we'll catch you again at a different time.